Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips. Good morning, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports episode 67 on Spreaker. You can find this and all other episodes of Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker on iHeartRadio. Add me on Facebook, Taylor Phillips. The username is Phil1DT with 2 L's. Like my Facebook sports page, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports page. Join my Facebook sports group, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports Group, and follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. That's DT2Phillips. Get a preview last night's Tigers game against the Royals. It was a romp. Plus, I'll preview Michigan and Michigan State and Central Michigan, and Eastern and Western. First off, the Tigers rout the Royals 10-1 at Kauffman Stadium in Game 1 of the 3-game series. A very important 3-game series. Justin Verlander went up against Jason Vargas, who, got rocked. Only went 5 innings flat. Gave up all 10 runs, including the Ian Kinsler 2-run home run that capped it off. Miguel Cabrera hit an RBI double that sailed over the left fielder's glove. And then Victor Martinez singled him home. Then they got an RBI single to make it 3-0. Verlander got himself into a few minor jams, but he managed to crawl out of one. He went 7 1/3 innings pitched. He almost played shutout ball, but allowed a runner to reach third in the bottom of the 8th, and was charged with the earned run given up by Evan Reed on a sacrifice fly. By Jason Nix. He gave up 7 hits, did not walk anybody, and struck out 4. It looked like he was well on his way to a complete game shutout against an AL Central contending Kansas City Royals team who has been revitalized this year. And predicted by some, only a minor percentage of the media, of the national media, to win the American League Central Division. Right now, it's not looking like so. As with that win, the Tigers lead the Royals by a game and a half now in the American League Central Division. Check their record here. While I wait, I want to touch on a few stats, or at least one. James McCann got his second major league start and got his first 2 major league hits. Went 2 for 4 with 2 singles. And after his first hit, he stole his first base and scored his first run on an Ian Kinsler RBI double 2 batters later. Kinsler finished with the aforementioned 2-run home run and a total of 3 RBIs. JD Martinez also got 3 hits, and Eugenio Suarez, the starting shortstop in the shortstop in the starting lineup, finished with 2 RBI singles. Tigers are 85-68 right now. And the Royals are 83-69. And taking a look at the wild card, the Royals are a half game behind the Athletics for the first wild card spot. The Oakland Athletics are 84-69. The Mariners trailed the Royals by a half game for the second wild card spot. Seattle is 83-70. The Cleveland Indians are 4.5. The Cleveland Indians and the New York Yankees are both 4.5 back at 79-74. The Blue Jays 6.5 at 77-76. The Orioles, the Baltimore Orioles, and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim have already clinched their playoff spots. They already lead their divisions. The Orioles lead the AL East at 92-61, and the Angels are 95-59. The O's lead the Yankees by 13 games flat. The Yankees are 79-74, like I mentioned before, and the Angels lead the Athletics by 10.5 in the AL West. The Orioles lead the Yankees in the AL East. I forgot to mention that. Previewing this afternoon's game, it's a matinee game on your local Fox affiliate. Max Scherzer at 16-5 and with a 3.26 ERA will go up against James Shields at 14-7 with a 3.15 ERA. A pitcher's duel up forthcoming at 1:05. And again, it's on your local Fox affiliate. This may take extra innings to determine that in a low-scoring game. Unless the Tigers do manage to get to James Shields, and Max Scherzer's trying to shake off his performance against Minnesota where he gave up 4 runs against the Twins at Target Field last Monday. Like I said, the Tigers manager Brad Ausmus said he was going to skip Kyle Lobstein and shake up the rotation and refuel and let the real starters let the elite starters refuel. They're normally elite. This year's not. This year's a bit rough for them. I'm pretty sure, but they're still elite in everybody's minds. I also want to touch on Alex Avila. He felt disoriented at batting practice before last night's game. He said he had a concussion. He has struggled with dizziness simultaneously during physical activity. So there's no timetable as to when Avila might return. And for that, Ausmus has hesitated to use James McCann in big situations of a division race, when Ausmus should have known that McCann is better than Holiday and Avila. And McCann proved it last night, going 2 for 4 with 2 singles, a stolen base, and a run scored. He can do more. Start McCann again. Alex Avila believes the concussion happened when he was picked off first base last Sunday at home against the Cleveland Indians at Comerica Park. First baseman Carlos Santana's arm hit Avila's head when Santana swiped to apply the tag. Avila was called safe because he slid to the bag in time. Avila does not know whether the foul tip off his mask on September 2nd in Cleveland, which also forced him to miss a few days, had a cumulative effect. Something that he has been told by doctors is a possibility in cases of repeated blows. While Avila was trying to stay upbeat in those minutes, he was also honest about his situation. He's further along now than he was at the same point dealing with past concussions. Jason Beck writes from MLB.com. Avila said, quote, "This concussion wasn't any worse than last year's," unquote. That said, Avila is now dealing with concussions for 3 straight seasons. Last year was a foul tip. The year before, it was a collision with Prince Fielder while chasing a pop-up. Which, not to sound too harsh, but which was pure stupidity. That's just constructive criticism. So, Brad Ausmus might start James McCann again, considering how McCann did last night. I have no game day preview yet for Game 2, but from MLive.com. So I'm going to move on to college football. The Michigan Wolverines take on the Utah Utes at the Big House. Michigan is 2-1 and Utah is 2-0. Game time start 3:30 in Ann Arbor on ABC. And for Wolverine fans, you can catch that on the radio on the Michigan IMG Sports Network with Jim Brandstatter and Dan Deerdorf on the call. Starting with the flagship stations, WTKA AM 1050 in Ann Arbor and WWJ AM 950 in Detroit, part of CBS Local Detroit, Sirius Channel 119 and XM Channel 195. The latest line is Michigan a 3.5 underdog. Series record is tied at 1. Last meeting, Utah won 25-23 in 2008 at the Big House. The other time, Michigan beat Utah on the road. Michigan fullback Sion Homa and defensive tackle Brian Moan are both Salt Lake City. Amid calls for Shane Morris, offensive coordinator Doug Nussmeier admitted that the backup quarterback can be the most popular guy in town, but said he's sticking with Devin Gardner as his starter. With Gardner having completed 68.2% of his passes and produced 5 touchdowns, Nussmeier remains encouraged by his senior quarterback's continued growth in Michigan's system. In a must-win game, Michigan could be without wideout Devin Funchess with a leg injury, linebacker Desmond Morgan with a hand-arm injury, cornerback Raymond Taylor, leg knee injury, and safety Gerard Wilson unknown.